Hey everyone, welcome back to Empire Build Academy. I'm Fabian, and today I'm going to look at the Blazons on Evony. And I'll be honest straight away from the beginning, this is an area where I haven't given much focus to. And when I say I haven't given much focus, I mean zero. Been avoiding it for a long time, but it's about time that I jumped into there. And the first thing I've realised is I am missing out on a lot of buffs. So stick with me as we go through it. So what we're going to look at is what are Blazons and also the different types of Blazon you can get, the understanding of how to use these. And there are 2 types of Blazon for each troop type, which we'll talk about. There are 6 slots for each troop which we can add, and each Blazon has basic attributes. A full set of a particular type gives additional buffs, as you can see there with the red circle. Set buffs are geared towards defense or attack, and additional buff will be awarded at different level upgrades. So all of that will make much more sense when we jump into it. So let's go straight over to the game, and this is where you will be able to see just how bad I have done Blazons in the past and how much I can definitely improve for what I believe is already a decent trap keep, but the buffs that I'm missing out on is incredible. So the area that we want to go to is this one. You will notice that on every single one, but when you go into there, you will also be able to see all of the different ones right here at the top. Just having a quick look around of all the different things. This is where your presets are. These are the 6 slots for the Blazons that we mentioned, so you can have 6 different ones on each troop type, as you can see there. And then down at the bottom, you will see that set attribute that I was talking about, which is geared towards either defending or attacking. So that's what you can see on all the different spots here. So you get 2 different types of Blazon for each troop set. So in total, there are 8 different types. So when we go and have a look at an individual Blazon, which we will do now, I'll go into this one here, click onto that, and this is what you're then presented with. So you will see the name of the actual Blazon here. This is the Sacrifice Earth Blazon. You will also notice there are some basic attributes that come with this, and the ones with the star are ones that are unlocked at different levels. So you can see there will be another one at level 15, and then finally another one, the last one, at level 20. So those are the additional buffs which you have no control over, but that again will make more sense as we look into it. And there are the set attributes again, so that you can see. And then obviously at the bottom, you've got the options to remove, change, or upgrade. The only other thing that we need to look at, which is fairly important, is this little padlock icon here, which we can use to make sure that we're not using any of the ones that we have chosen to keep for upgrades. So this is the Sacrifice Earth Blazon. Let's have a look at the other options that we have in here. So when I go into change, you will notice all the different ones. So you've got the Justice Earth Blazon and you've got the Sacrifice Earth Blazon. That is the ones for ground. Again, when you go onto the Justice Earth Blazon, you will notice the basic attributes, and then you'll notice the set attributes. So Justice Earth is for attacking, and if we went and looked at another Justice Earth, you'll notice 2 different types of basic attributes, and then again those same set attributes for the Justice Earth, which is for attacking. So if you used to use 2 pieces of this when attacking, enemy ranged troop attack would be minus 20%. If you had 4 pieces when attacking, the enemy ranged troop defense would be debuffed by another 20%. And then finally, if you had the full set, so you had all 6 slots with the Justice Earth Blazon, you would then get an additional 10% on your attacking ground troop attack, defense, and HP. And again, if we was to go down to the Sacrifice Earth ones, you will notice again there are more attributes, and again you will see the different set attributes, but this one is geared towards defending. Now obviously it makes sense that if I was going to be using a Justice Earth Blazon which is for attacking, then really I'd want attacking basic attributes on the ones that I finally decide to use. And that's how we start off with doing this. You would look all the way down. So let's use Justice Earth as the first example. We know it's an attacking set, so I would want to be looking for something that I could use in attack. So defending ground troop defense isn't really going to be the one that I'd want to use on this. I'd want to find something ground troop defense that could be used. We've got ground troop defense again. Again, this is just a case of looking through and seeing which one is going to be useful for you. And remember, even though you do have those presets, it's very, very difficult to change by going in and out of the keep to try and change this. So really, you've got to expect to be using just the one type of preset. Obviously, you could set a preset for monsters if that's what you was doing, because you can get basic attributes that are geared towards hurting monsters. But again, you would only do that with the mounted troop, potentially. So that is what you've got to think about. So again, let's go down. In rally, ground troop defense could be useful. Ground troop training capacity, you wouldn't want that. That's just a complete waste of a basic attribute. Defending ground troop defense. Now, this one would be fine if it was on the sacrifice, but because this one is on the justice, which is for attacking, again, that wouldn't make sense to use. So it's a case of just going down all the different ones. Let's have a look for a good one that would be used for attacking, which is what we said we were looking at first. And you can see I've got quite a few here open. So again, that's another defending one. There we go. Attacking ground troop defense. Now, it's one of those where you've got to find whatever is the best available one. So this is okay because it now comes with attacking ground troop defense, which is obviously what you'd want on your set for attacking. But it does come with that defending ground troop defense, and it does require a lot of luck in finding the one that is perfect to start with that you are going to upgrade. So again, we can go down. I can see this one's perfect. There you go. So this one is Justice Earth Blazon. It's got 2 basic attributes of attacking ground troop defense. It's also part of the set attributes, which would be for attacking. So if I was going to do attacking, this would be a very useful, ideal piece that I would want to use. But there is another but. So I did mention earlier about the different ones having a additional one for each of the different levels. So you can see the one I've already got in there at the top here. This is the one with the star. So that would have been added at 10%. Now there's no control over which ones you get. So if I was using this particular attacking ground troop defense basic attribute, and then I took it all the way to level 10, and that level 10 then threw something out like, for argument's sake, ground training capacity, or it threw a ground attack on monsters, which you absolutely can, and knowing my luck probably would, then again, you would then consider at levels 10 and levels 15 whether you would want to start on that particular blazon again. Yeah, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you just how bad I've done this from the beginning. So I've mentioned about the individual different ones, how they are come together as a set via attacking or defending, and obviously you can mix that if you really, really wanted to. So what I'm going to do now, before I show you all of my ones, which are terrible, I'm going to do one as an example, which I'm going to use. I am going to be a defense keep. I'm a trap keep. I've got rid of all my high layers, my high troop types, they're all gone. I'm down to 1.7 billion, so I'm never going to want to use the attacking set buffs on any of my ground, range, mounted or siege. I want defense. That's what I'm going to do on this video, but you can imagine if you wanted to do the same thing for an attack, you've just got to switch it around in terms of the set you're using. So on ground troop, I've got 6 different spots. I want all of them to have defending attributes as part of the basic. I want all of them to be part of the sacrifice set, which would be defending. So you can see that here. Same again when I go over to ranged. I wouldn't want the valor set. Let me just see what other ones we've got here. So again, you can see on the ranged one, I set this up originally because I thought I was going to be an attack. So this is with the valor set, which is for attacking, but that is no longer useful to me. It's a complete waste. I need to change all of them to defense. We go to mounted. It's a good job that I've sort of launched into it, looked at it in detail, and ready to go. So let's go over to ground. Let's start it with the ground, and let's show you first and foremost how bad these are. Here's number 1. And it really does start bad. Number 1, I've got the basic attributes here of defending and attacking. But look at those 2 little level up ones at level 10 and 15. Ground troop load, ground troop load. All part of the defensive set. This is terrible. I need to change it. Let's have a look at another one. This one here, did I have both of them? I've got both of them at ground troop load. Okay, that's really, really bad. This one in rally ground troop defense. This is for the sacrifice. This one is ground troop HP. This one is ground troop HP on monsters and ground troop load. I'm sure there's people saying, I don't know how you've, even as a beginner, even as a noob with these, this is terrible. It really is. Let's go to my range ones, which I'm expecting to see a lot of attack ones, because I remember doing the range one. I sort of looked into it. Again, ranged ranged troop defense on monsters. In an ideal world, I don't want that there. This one's actually a decent one if I was doing attacking ranged troop defense. This one's got ranged troop HP on monsters. In rally ranged troop HP, you'll start to get an idea, especially as I start going through these and actually fixing them, what they should all be. So this one again, mounted troop attack on monsters. So we've got the soul, which is for monsters, and I'm just going to go down. We've got the honor, which is for attacking. So actually, maybe it's because there is no set attributes for defense. So that would be the reason as to why I haven't got that. There actually isn't a defense one set-wise that you can use. There's one for monsters. There is one for attack. So that would be the reason. So I can actually say to myself, okay, I didn't make a mistake on that. But again, I'd still want this to be potentially monsters because I'm never going to attack really. I will make a decision on that. So that is for the mounted, and then we go into the siege, and you can see again I've got the attacking siege buffs for the honesty set, which I have all of them. Again, I really want this to be defense. So let's get straight into it now. Let's go over to the ground troop. Let's start fixing these and start looking for the ones that I really want. This is useless. Ground troop load ×2, no good. Set attribute for defending, good, but not what I want. So we want to remove that. Definitely not keeping that. Definitely not keeping that. In rally ground troop defense, you'll probably find there is something better. So again, I'm going to remove that. And ground troop HP, this is part of the defending. I'm not ruling it out, but I'm also not ruling it in. This one, ground troop HP on monsters, ground troop load. Don't want to keep that, so let's remove that. And then the last one, reinforcing ground troop attack. Again, not really going to want that because I'm not going to be doing much reinforcing with my poor trap keep. So the only one that I've thought about potentially keeping is this sacrifice fire blazon, which comes with some ground troop HP and is also part of the defensive set, but I'm going to have a look at what is available. So first of all, let's go and do this one over here. We're looking for some defending, so that one comes with some defending. So does that, but it's ground troop. Again, ideally, blazon filters, we can go into this and we can actually change what we're looking for. So we know we are looking for the sacrifice one. So we can go into the set type, sacrifice, compassion, soul, and humility. You can see that that is already set. That is what I'm looking for. So this should all be defense as I go all the way down. Attacking ground troop attack, defending ground troop load. I'm just going to literally scroll down these and see which one is potentially a good one to have. Defending, reinforcing, ground troop attack on monsters, never going to do that. Is there going to be one that's got 2 lots of defense on it? That would be awesome if we could find one with 2 lots of defense. Haven't found one yet. Going to keep going down. Defending, reinforcing. I'm not going to be lucky, am I? They'll probably find there's a way actually that I could probably change this on the filters as well, which I will look for the next ones. But as I'm already halfway down, I'll just continue going. Defending ground troop attack. We have found one. This is a good one, so I'm going to add that one, and that is now in there. That is good. Okay, so you can see now that I've actually added all the different ones in there. So you can see that this one comes with defending ground troop attack and normal ground troop attack, but I've got the one attribute there. This one comes with defending ground troop defense. This one has both of them on there, defending ground troop defense, so that's a good one. This one comes with reinforcing, defending, and you'll notice now that I've got the 1-star at level 10. I'm going to jump into all this. I'm just going to show you exactly what I've done. Ground troop HP on monsters, don't really want that, so that might be one of those that I'll try again. And then going down to this one again, defending ground troop attack ×2, that is a good one. And you will also notice as well, what I've done on these is I have placed the padlock so that I can't use these when upgrading the different ones. So let's have a look at how this is done. So this is me doing this for defense, but of course, from a defensive point of view, one of the things that I've noticed with this is blazons aren't really useful for people who are defending. And the reason being is because when you go into the leads and you have a look at some of these, the defending ground troop HP is 7.6%, as you can see there, which is cool. It's absolutely fine. But from a defensive point of view and the low tier troops, we talked about flat refines and percentage refines in the past, and this is percentage refines, which isn't going to make a massive difference to what I'm doing, especially with the fact that I've got those low numbers because I'm a trap keep. So So this might be more beneficial if, say, you was a defense keep and you had some high tier troops in your castle, in your keep. But for me, with those low tier troops, nothing really above T10, this isn't really going to be advantageous to me. The Blazons equipment really is more beneficial for the attack, possibly defense, not for a trap keep. So although I'm going to do this because I want to take advantage of the set attributes that come with this. So you can see when defending, enemy main to troop attack is minus 25%, range troop defense is minus 25%, and then that defending ground troop attack, defense and HP 15%. I'm still going to do it because those percentages are going to make a small difference. It's better than not doing it. It's pointless having the attacking one because I'm certainly not going to do that. But what you will notice with those Blazons that I've already had set up, they are completely wrong. They do have the wrong star ones at level 10s, 15 and 20. So I definitely want to fix them, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. But what I'm going to do with showing you this one, I'm going to show you how you can search very quickly for all the different ones you need from an attacking point of view. I'm not going to do them, but I'm just going to show you how you can find them nice and quickly. So let's go over there now. Let's go back into the Blazons, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to remove all these. I've got the padlock on them so that I can't use them again. Okay, so let's do this from an attack point of view. Let's imagine that my account and my keep is all geared towards attacking. We're going to use the ranged one as an example. And when we go in there, I've removed everything to make it nice and easy. And when I go into that first one, we can see all these different ones that I've got, but I don't want to be searching through all of those. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to narrow this down. First and foremost, the sacrifice, compassion, soul and humility, that is geared towards defense and monsters on the mounted side of things for the monsters. And if we go to the top one, this is what I would be using for attack. So once I do that and then I click on that confirm at the bottom, that will then sort that out and just show me the ones that are all based on attack. But again, we still want to go down. So this is going to show you all the different ones that are for the set attribute attacking, which you can see there now. That would be all the valor ones, and when you go down, all these valor will be for their attacking set. But again, we'd still like to break that down even further if possible, and we can. What we want to do is go into the effective condition, and when we go into there, I'm going to say that one of the attributes I'm looking for is attacking, and then when I click on confirm on that, you're going to see all of these Blazons now, which has now been significantly reduced. You can see now that these all come with at least one being attacking on the basic attribute. That's what I'd want to do on all of them. So let's find out which is the best one doing it this method. Obviously, I've already got one there, level 15. I'm only going to do this as an example. I'm not going to go fully through this. Obviously, I will set this up as a defensive side of thing for mine, but just to show you how to do the Blazons and how to do it quickly. So now I can go down all of these looking for the one that ideally has 2 attacking. It probably won't be one. And the last one, let's have a look at the last one. No, it isn't. So what I'd probably do is choose one that also has in rally or reinforced. It depends on what you are planning to do. So attacking range troop attack, in rally troop attack, that one is good. So I've now got that one in there. I'd go down to the next one. I would do the same thing, those Blazon filters. So I would change these now to the justice again. Again, I don't want the bottom one, that's for defense. On the buff side of things, I keep this one with nothing at all on there, and then the effective condition, I'll click on attack. So now when I do that, there were only 2 that came as part of that attacking set, and with at least one on the attacking range troop defense. So again, it would be making a decision. I would probably choose this one. Click on that, and again, you're now going to see that the set attribute times 2 is activated because I've now chosen 2 from the valor. And let's do this for all of them. Blazon filters again. Set type is the justice. The effective condition is attacking. Click on confirm, and this will reduce them down again so that you can find the ones that has attacking. And here's one with 2 on it, so that's perfect. Blazon filters, you're sort of getting the idea here. I don't want the bottom one, I want the top one. The buff, I don't use that. Attacking, yes, confirm. And again, it's reduced it down to just those 4 that I would be looking for. And if you was doing this from a defensive perspective, which I am, you would obviously use the different filters geared towards defending, using that bottom one for the set attributes and looking for defending, not attacking. So the best one out of these was probably this one here. We'll click on that. Let's do the final 2 nice and quickly. Set type justice, effective condition attacking, click on confirm, and again you can see let's have a look if this one's going to be nice and give us one with 2 attacking on there. Probably not. Attacking, defending, and then last but not least, range troop capacity. There was one that came with range troop HP and attacking range troop HP. That will do for that one. And then the final one for the set type, justice, sacrifice, effective condition, attacking. Hopefully this has now broke this down for what you're looking for in relation to your keep. And again, just going to go down. It looks like I'm not going to have anything special in terms of the double. So I will again look for one with the in rally. There it is. And now that would be the full set complete, and you can see straight away down there at the bottom, this is now also complete. You would get those buffs for your attacking set for the Valor set. The next thing we'd want to do is obviously upgrade these. Now to upgrade these, all we've got to do now is make sure that we put the padlock onto each single one of these, so that when we are upgrading, they are not going to use these ones to do the upgrades, because we use the Blazons that we no longer need to do this. So let's have a look at this one here. There was one with the 2 on. Let's have a look at the one with the 2. This third one here it is. So now what we're going to do is go into upgrade down here, and we're going to take this to level 10. I will do it for the purpose of this video. I'm going to use Blazon Core first. Got that ticked. Click on auto select, and you can see it requires 200 points. Each Blazon is worth 100. I click upgrade. That's now gone to level 2. You will notice those attacking range troop defense buffs have also gone up. Same again. Click on auto select. Let's have a look at what it goes to now. 1.9. You can see how quick this would increase. Take this all the way to level 10 on the Valor Earth. Let's do that all the way. And I'm going to do this even though I'm not going to use it. It doesn't really matter. I'm not really that bothered. And you can see that the set attribute unlocked there at level 10. Now, this is in rally range troop defense. What you need to now make a decision on is whether you are happy to go ahead with that, or would you want to potentially start again with this Blazon, because obviously in an ideal world there are 3 new attributes added at levels 10, 15 and 20, and they can be absolutely anything. They could be range troop load, and of course again, if you wanted that, when I go back to my Blazons over in ground, you will remember that I had those in here. You can see that the 2 additional ones that I had unlocked at levels 10 and 15 were both ground troop load. Pointless. I shouldn't have even gone any further. Once I'd got to level 10, I should have got rid of these, started again, trying to gain an additional buff that is going to be useful and beneficial with my troops, and that would have been from a defensive point of view. So again, this is useless. Let's go back to the range troop one. So I just wanted to show you that as an example. So when you are going into this and you are doing the Blazons and you've got it to level 10, you need to make a decision. Do I continue? Am I happy? Do I go to level 15? Or would you potentially want to start again? If you obviously got attacking range troop defense as your third one and you were lucky, you'd want to keep that and you'd want to continue. So that is what you would do on there. I'm going to do one more just to show you again how that works. And this time we will do this one here. Again, I'm going to use the Blazon Core first, which is using the Valor ones before anything else. Again, if you had the padlock unlocked on this, it could potentially be using this one. And that's why it's crucial to make sure you do put the padlock on there. So again, when you go into auto select, it's going to do it again. Let's have a look at what this one brings out at level 10. People are probably thinking, oh, you're wasting all your Blazons. It is for the purpose of the video. It's perfectly fine. I haven't done this at all. And also, again, I only personally need those defensive set attributes. The percentages that I'm going to get from this are going to be so minimal. Yeah, in the future, I might go to an attack account, but that's very unlikely for a long, long time. So let's keep going. Let's take it all the way to level 10 and see what unlocks. So the next attribute, the next one that I do, the 2700, is now going to unlock a new attribute you can see there, and that is what I want to do. Let's go and have a look at what it gives me this time. And it gave me range troop HP on monsters. Again, a useless stat really for this. And you've got plenty of Blazons to use, which are quite difficult to get hold of. You can get them from the Soulish Wishing Pool if it pops out on there. You can also get it from the expensive packs that come out every couple of weeks as well. And I'm sure there are other packs as well you can get these from. And then obviously very minimal from just playing the game normally. But if you had plenty of these and you were playing this for the long term, you would probably look at this and go, hang on a minute, I don't want to do that. I'd probably potentially go and do another one just to see what that brought out at level 10. And I'd take all of these to level 10, look at what attributes I got for each of them, and then make a decision which ones I'm going to start again on and which ones I'm going to take to level 15, level 20. If we go to the mounted troop side of things, you can see that I've got all this set up on attacking. because there's no point in me doing monsters. So I've got all of these with a defensive attribute, and on the mounted, it's either the set attribute is for attacking or it is for monsters. So again, you've got to make a decision what you want to do. The reason I'm doing this one on attacking is if in 3 years time I decide to become an attack keep or started to improve what I had in there, this will already be set up for there in the future. Monsters, there's plenty of bigger people that can kill the monsters. I only need that very minimal. Again, when I go over to Siege Machine, you will notice I've done this from a defensive point of view. So I'm going to get those defensive buffs there. I've added each one to have at least a minimum of 1 defending siege attack. And again, I would then upgrade all of these to level 10, and then once I'd upgraded them all to level 10, I would then take a look at which ones I'm potentially going to keep, which ones I'm going to start again, and which ones I would take to the next level. And I think that's potentially the best way to do this. Now, of course, if you're watching this video and you think there is something I've missed or there's something that you can do in a different way or a better way, again, please do mention. But I'm going to come back off this and I'm going to explain it one more time from the beginning, trying to break it down nice and simple. Blazons, let's go into there. We go into there. You've got your troop presets all over here. There's 4 of them. It obviously depends on what your VIP level is, etc. So how many presets you have. You've got 2 different types for each one. So for the ground troop, let me just jump into there quickly. We can see that if I went into the set type, you can see there is Sacrifice, Compassion, Soul, and Humility, which is geared towards defense, and then Justice, Valor, Honor, and Honesty, which is geared towards attack. If you then went into the effective condition and chose attacking, it would then show you all of those with the set type that you choose as well to go there. Now, I've used all my Blazons on the ground one, so let me go into Siege and have a look at what that looks like on here. If I went into here and I went to change, and then I went into the Blazon filters, I chose set type. This would then be looking for defensive, so let's leave that there and let's leave it on defending. Absolutely fine. Click on confirm. All of these will have a defensive attribute based on the defending set as well. So that's how you would do that, and you would go down these looking for the one, ideally with 2 of the defending ones on there. There isn't going to be one. Try the last one, have a look. No, there wasn't. I would then select one of them. Once I've done that, I would then again potentially upgrade these to level 10 on each one of these. And once I've taken them to level 10, like I have on some of the ranged ones, I would then decide which one I would then take to level 15, level 20. Again, there are 2 different sets. That's another thing to be aware of in this. So this one is the Honor set. Each one has 2 different sets. So when you go into this, there are 2 different sets. So if I went into the ranged one, you can see that we've got the Valor Shadow. When we go into change, you will notice there is also Compassion. And Compassion will be geared towards defense. Valor will be geared towards attack. And when you click on that, you look at the set attributes, you can see Valor is for attack. And when you go on to the Compassion one, you will see that this is aimed at defending. The idea is you can mix and match your sets to obviously work in the way that you're looking for. But if you was doing purely attacking, you would, in an ideal world, want the whole set of the Valor so that you can get all those attacking set attributes that come with that for owning 6 different pieces. And again, if you was doing defending like I am, then you would use the Compassion one and try to get them all there. And once you have one of these Blazons on each of the 6 different spaces that you can apply these, it is then a case of taking them to level 10. So you can see on this one, attacking range, troop defense, I've got that ×2. But when I went to the level 10 attribute, unfortunately put in rally range, troop defense, and this is where you would make a decision as to whether you want to start again or do you want to continue. The way I would personally do that, as I mentioned earlier, is I would take all of these to level 10. I'd take a look at my set and then make a decision as to whether I want to start again on any of the level 10s that I've done, or do I want to continue and take them further. So I would probably get level 10s on all of these and then start thinking about taking them to the next level in relation to that. That is pretty much it. I'm just going to go back to my cards that I wrote just to make sure there's nothing that I've missed. What are Blazons? We talked about that. Different types of Blazons. So there are 2 different types for each troop. One is geared towards defense, one is geared towards attack. Understanding how to use, we are obviously trying to get those basic attributes in there for that. So you've got the basic attributes and then you get the additional one that gets added at levels 10, 15 and 20. We've talked about the 2 types, we've talked about the 6 slots, we've talked about the basic attributes. A full set of a particular type gives additional buffs like I've shown you there on the Valor sets. Set buffs are geared towards defense or attack, and an additional buff is awarded at different level upgrades. So the only other thing I want to show you is when we are doing the breakdowns, we can break this down using the troop filters. So we can go into there, we can go into change, we can go into the Blazon filters. The top one is for attack, the bottom one is for defense. So you just got to make a decision on which one you want. Let's say that I'm going for attack. I want the justice, valor, honor, or honesty. I'm going for attack. I'm going down to the effective condition. I'm looking for attacking because that's what would make sense to have on there. Click on confirm, and then these will all be for the set attributes honesty, which is geared towards attacking. Then what we'd want to do is go down on all of these, looking for the ones that would ideally have 2 of the attacking basic attributes. That's not guaranteed, obviously, but we can have a look, and there isn't going to be one. So you would literally just then make a decision, probably choose the bottom one, click on change, and then you can see now that I have that in there, but there's no padlock on there. So I'd want to put the padlock on to make sure that I couldn't use that by accident in upgrading the Blazons. Once you've done that, it is then a case of taking this to level 10 so that you get a new attribute unlocked at level 10s, 15 and 20. And we are hoping, it is pure luck as to what drops out, that your attributes unlocking at 10, 15 and 20 are geared towards what you're looking for. So this is an attack one. I'd hope that it would be an attack one, but if it gave me something like siege troop load, I wouldn't want that. I'd potentially start again. I'm hoping that has kind of explained this in simplicity. Now, if it hasn't, or you've got a better way of trying to say this, then please do mention in the comments. And if there's anything you don't understand, then also please do let me know, and I will try and answer your questions. That is it, where I'm going to leave it for the Blazon introduction, the Blazon guide, and I will now be playing a lot more in server versus server as well as the battlefield, so please do keep an eye on them. I will do them as live so we can see exactly how my trap keep gets on in those different battles. I know there's a lot of 46s and 47s I think for this week, so that should be very interesting, and I will continue to try and improve this trap account, and I will see you in another video very soon. Thanks for watching.